Goslings personally. Has a little extra kick to it. You want to do about an ounce.
Do what you do, man.
Are we live? We're live? All right, bet. So we are back with another summer cocktail, guys. And as always, welcome back to Booze and Food, or actually in this case, the art of whiskey. Jamarcus Best, your craftsman here, and today we are going to do a Mexican Mule. Now, you've probably heard a few different iterations of this, but the one I'm going to do is going to be a pineapple Mexican Mule. We're going to do a little tahini, fresh pineapple juice, fresh lime, tequila, and I'm going to put all of that together and make you a great cocktail. So, to start, what we're going to do is we're going to go, as I've always said before, you always want to start with your mixers before you add your final drink, or your final liquor, excuse me, because you do not want to mess up and then turn around, now you have a drink that you just got to kind of play with. So we'll start with half an ounce of fresh lime. Boom. We'll do an ounce of fresh pineapple juice, and as I've always said in the past, you always want to use fresh ingredients because it makes that much of a difference. Anything concentrate wise, it just kind of tastes kind of fake. And it does taste fake. So ounce of pineapple juice, half an ounce of fresh lime. I'm actually going to do a little pinch of tahini in here as well. Just a little dash. And we're building this in the shaker tin because what we're going to do is we're going to shake this up. Normally in a mule, you just build it in a copper mug and then top with ice, ginger beer, call it a day. In this case, there's various ingredients that you want to mix together. Now you'll add your spirit. In this case, we're using tequila. Once again, we're using Cazadores. Shout out to our guy Richard who introduced us to this, and we're using a Blanco specifically for this. You can use an anejo. I probably wouldn't go as far as reposado though. So we're going to do an ounce and a half, which is going to be your typical standard pour in most restaurants. Normally, as you guys have been watching, I like to do a 2-ounce pour, which is I call our Del Frisco pour. But in this case, for a good balance, we're doing an ounce and a half. After that, on our base, now we'll go ahead and add ice. And let me go ahead and pre-prep the glass before I start shaking it up. So I'm gonna put just a little fresh lime here on this plate. I'm gonna do a tahini rim. And I always do half a glass, I don't do the full. There you go. We'll go ahead and get our ice in here, get that nice and ready. Oh, I already knew one ingredient I left over there, which is my ginger beer, but we'll go back and get that here in a second. We'll add top, get a shake. Remember, always want to go side to side or like that, okay? Never all this, it's just too much. I'm gonna do a little double strain. And another way to even make this a little bit better too, you can muddle a fresh jalapeno in this as well. Okay, and then got that. Top with ginger beer. We'll grab that real quick, 2 seconds. And then we're using Fever Tree here. I like Goslings personally. Has a little extra kick to it. You'll want to do about an ounce. I do a little bit more than that. And a straw. You can garnish this with, if you want to get creative, you can do a, the pineapple leaves, you can actually grill those. Throw that in there as a garnish. You can add a jalapeno as a garnish if you were doing jalapenos in this as well, and you can even grill that as well. In this case, you can even just do a simple lime will. I'm gonna drop that in there and we'll let the man behind the camera give it a good taste. And tell me your thoughts and any questions you may have, my man.
What am I supposed to be tasting?
So think of Moscow Mule, which is traditionally your vodka, fresh lime, ginger beer primarily.
Okay.
In this case, it's pineapple mule made with tequila. So also with some spice. So sweet.
And it's not supposed to be sweet though, right?
Not super sweet, no.
Because most mules aren't super sweet, so I understand that completely, which is why I would do the blueberry one. Mm-hmm. When you get at the restaurant, you can taste the blueberry. Yeah. And blueberry's not a flavor that's like, oh wow, I love blueberries. Mm-hmm.
How's the pineapple in this? Is it overwhelming? Is it too sweet?
No, I think not at all actually. So that's why I asked, because I was waiting to get punched, not in a bad way, but by the pineapple, but the pineapple's non-existent. And that's not a bad thing, people. Sometimes not in season. And
that part, you know what also, Barbara, could have cut it out was the ginger beer.
The ginger I can taste, but pineapple is a super prominent flavor in most things. So you still would taste it if it was like one that was like ripe and ready. And he got the good one. But functionally, if I'm looking at, as we do whiskey here, this is a good drink as we get into the summer months. I love whiskey now more than anything. But there's going to be days where you go, dude, my eyebrows are sweating. I don't want to drink whiskey right now. And this is super refreshing. So if there was a way to drink a healthy liquor drink, if he was like, yo, I want to drink, be healthy, you're like, oh, it's alcohol involved, it's not healthy at all. But if I were to guess, I would do the lime, I would do the pineapple, I would do the ginger beer, I would add the tequila, and you go, man, I feel refreshed. So super refreshing, super flavorful, super tasty. I feel like I tasted a little bit more pineapple there. And what's the density of ginger beer? Meaning, how like you add certain, like if I added a Coke or something to a drink, you would see the Coke kind of like drop and change the color, right? So something else that you guys might not know is there's density to everything, right? So what happens, Jamarcus, if you don't mind, when you put alcohol at the bottom of the drink versus the top of the drink?
Well, what happens in this case, which I could have done, also now that you're mentioning it, is normally most meals you'll see is the liquor's going to sit right at the bottom. So the ginger's usually sitting right at the top, so it doesn't sink immediately. So what I probably could have done differently was I also could have rolled it. You guys have seen me roll before, where I'll just take the drink after I put the topper on, I'll roll it so it actually mixes everything together, and then roll it back, and then you can get the balance all the way through versus I'm getting tequila at the base, and then eventually some pineapple, and then the ginger to finish. Whereas if I rolled it, you'll get it all mixed together. So on the next one, I'll probably do that. I'll roll it and see what the difference is.
And you see, that's the difference, people. And again, when you put liquor at the top, when you put, let's just say you're just doing fucking Sprite and Coke. Straight Sprite and Coke, Sprite at the top. You Red Bull and vodka. Prime example. You put a whole thing, I want a splash of Red Bull. That Red Bull sits at the top, and as it marries over time, that splash itself almost becomes one with the vodka, especially as the ice melts.
Yeah.
So the ice becomes the highway, if you would, to bridge the two liquors and calm all that vodka down while still getting the Red Bull effect.
Yep.
But that's why everything has a density. So liquor will sink. And it's funny is, I'm calling it pop, but pop rises a lot of times, so it stays right in the middle. Versus like if you put all your liquor at the bottom, most of the time it's not going to come up to the top of the drink.
Nope. Unless you do a floater, and even the floater still sinks.
There you have it. So that's when you're learning about liquor and food and ingredients. There's a density to everything, which is why oil and vinegar don't mix.
That's a good way to look at it.
There you have it, people. Well, stay tuned. Keep it whiskey. And here's another summer drink. What an opportunity for you guys to try this at home. Comment below if you want to learn more about making refreshing drinks for friends, for family, and even more importantly, scaling up. We've got pictures here that we do as we get into the summer. We can just come out and grab some stuff and enjoy ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Keep it whiskey.